doing? Leon, my man, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Mike? You good?
Yeah, not too bad. This is episode 1 of the Year Buddy Experience podcast, and I'm so happy and ready to rock and roll, my man. Ready to rock and roll.
I've got a story for you already.
Shoot, far away.
Names, bro.
Names for who?
Names, bro. Where did I meet you?
Oh, it was at that casting. So it's weird. So I signed up for was it Crash Course?
Crash Club Media.
That's the one. So I signed up for that and ended up meeting yourself at the event. But it was more of you came to my rescue to save me from this. Was it Spanish or Venezuelan?
Yeah, she was mixed. Jamaican.
Was she?
Girl. Yeah, I think she was.
You sure?
Of mixed heritage, yeah, because she cross-checked you on geographically.
Talking about the other girl.
You talking about the other
Yeah.
girl? Oh, okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah, Hispanic.
So you got attacked twice.
Yeah, I got attacked twice. So the first time, I will give you a little backstory. So we had a question. The question was in regards of homosexuality and are men okay to wear makeup and dresses?
Mm-hmm.
And because of the West Indian culture and upbringing, I said no. I said it's not cool. It's not appropriate. And as soon as I came off from saying that point, I was attacked twice in the setting. First from I think it's the black girl you were mentioning, the one who kind of quizzed me about Haiti and
Shakira, yeah,
she's on some issues. And then there was that Venezuelan looking girl who was just she was full on, man. She was talking about stuff from back home and stuff, and I was just quite like taken back. But I was quite fortunate enough to have you come to my rescue, and you saved the day, man.
It's I'm a people watcher, so I was taking the whole vibe in, and then I just clocked onto it because I saw her make a beeline for you, and she did it with intent.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I was kind of like, what's going on here then? So I was being nosy.
Yeah, no, it's good you did, because I was panicking. I didn't really know what to expect, especially on that day. It was one of those things where I rocked up open-minded to see what was going to happen, and from there it was just like that threw me, because obviously some of the views I have, they can be seen as a bit questionable, but it's the upbringing. I love my grandparents, right? And they're from the generation of you can say certain things and they're okay at that time.
Yeah.
Now you'd probably be that's not politically correct.
There's plenty of that going on.
I hate that. I find that that's everywhere at the moment. People are using that for every fucking thing.
They are. The point being, when I was saying the story about the names, so I just wanted to get you into that. So I applied for that through Star now.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
So my stage name, quote unquote.
That's true.
And all of this because my name, which should really be on the podcast, which it will be from now, is Johnny.
Alright, sorry, bro.
No, that's cool. No.
Alright, Johnny.
We're talking. We're getting it out there. It's if you follow my socials, everybody and a lot of people call me Leon.
Okay.
So my I would say from a mixture of what I've done in the past, so whether it be music, whatever it is, and from a previous life, like family background, which I'm sure we'll get into, my name is Leon.
Okay.
And then through family ups and downs and what have you, lived with that person, my name got changed to Johnny.
Okay.
So I'm a very not an insular person, but I'm quite a private person. So when I initially set up my social media accounts, I set them up in the name Leon and my nickname being Brownie. So Leon Brown is my social media.
Okay, so there's loads going on. You confused me. When I met you, I was like, oh, okay, Johnny,
Johnny.
And then it was like Leon, and I was like, now I'm confused. When
I set up the WhatsApp, and that's why I was like, I'm not going to cross-check the guy, because a lot of people call me Leon.
Yeah, cross-check me.
So the WhatsApp is Leon Brown as well.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I was just confused.
Then, when I let you into my circle,
hey, man, I'm in the circle. Preach!
When I let you into the circle, it's Johnny.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how can I put it? Like, I'm so happy to be in your circle, my man. I'm so happy.
We're being honest.
I got the proper name around here, at least.
There we go.
But no, that's cool. That's cool. Well, at least we cleared it up. So,
nice to meet you, man.
Hey, Johnny, what's up, man? I was going to call you Leon again, but Johnny, how's it going?
Everything's blessed, bro.
Okay, so that is just a bit of background of how I met Johnny. I'm struggling to I'm thinking Johnny Leon is all in my brain.
Cool.
But as we go on, it probably will come easier for me to pick up.
If I'm walking down the street, and someone shouts Leon, I'll I'll turn around.
Okay.
If someone shouts Johnny, I'll turn around. Yeah.
Right.
It's ingrained in me, but I appreciate that it's confusing to other people.
No, that's cool. It's cool. I'm on board. It's in the brain, and this being episode 1, Jesus Christ, by episode 10, be flying.
Yeah.
Be flying.
All good, man.
But yeah, as you see, this is how we became friends. I'd say we're friends.
Yeah, man.
We're buddies.
We're buddies. Again, I mean, you know what I mean. Like I said, I'm not that private, but I've got a circle of friends that I went to school with, I played football with, and outside of that group, I could find myself in a group of people, but I wouldn't approach people or speak to anybody else other than my friends. And then my friends would be like, "Bro, you alright?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool, man. I'm good. I'm having a good time." And I wouldn't really reach out to anybody else that was in the room. Now, the older I've gotten and the things that I'm trying to do now and pursue, you got to come out of your comfort zone, your shell a little bit. So I was actually explaining to my missus the other day. Literally said, yeah, like, I think this is gonna sound soppy as anything, but I said I think Michael's the first person that I've met that I like.
Wow.
Outside of
Jesus Christ.
Outside of our circle of friends, obviously, because I don't. But to me, that was empowering, and it made me feel proud to myself for actually connecting with somebody normally that I wouldn't connect with. I wanted to do podcasting. There's loads of gang of stuff that I want to be doing, and then it's kind of like the universe conspired somewhat that I'd met you, and then however many weeks or months or whatever it is later, you messaged me, and we're sitting here now. So
no, that's good. It's good. Well, I'm kind of similar position I was in. So I've been a PT for years, and I'm very talkative. For me, every single person is an opportunity to sell PT, taxi driver, whatever. So I've always made friends everywhere I've gone, and then I hit a kind of point in life where I stopped doing that. I stopped wanting to kind of extend myself and reach out to people and try and build friendship networks. I just completely stopped. I don't know what happened, but I just stopped. And then now I'm in the process now of trying to see if I can build networks, and that's why meeting yourself and even going to that crash course. I keep saying crash course. Why I keep saying crash
club? Yeah.
Crash club was kind of a big step, because before then I didn't really sign up to anything. So it's just very much of go there with the mind to meet different people, to talk to different people. And then I came across yourself, and it was like, okay, there is something here in terms of, I've mentioned Arsenal. As you can see, we got the t-shirts up, reference. I talked to my brother playing football. Then you talked about you used to play football, and you're still playing Sunday League football.
Yeah, play Sunday League, vets, and local football. But yeah, still active.
And then we ended up talking about UFC and boxing and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I get on well with this guy. We've got like common interests here. I want to do a podcast. You mentioned you and a few buddies were thinking of doing a podcast, and I was like, okay, that kind of works quite well. So let's see if we can put those two thought processes together and build something, especially with the backdrop of motivation, inspiration, and never giving up. Mm-hmm. For me, that's why this is something poignant to me, and that's why I'm very happy and fortunate to have you on board, even though some of the stuff you said was quite cheesy, but it's gone over the top of my head, so don't worry. But
it's not cheesy. I'm just being truthful. Like I said to you, if we're going to have people on this podcast, and we're going to be not intrusive, but
are you asking questions?
Yeah, we're asking questions. We're digging. Yeah. So if they're going to be honest to me and you and to the audience, then I need to be
transparent.
honest and transparent with people.
Well, I think that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when we move forward, I mean, ultimately, this might be the only time that you and I speak to each other. Yeah, not on the platform. I mean, because we've got all the guests lined up.
Give me the proper name and everything.
We've got the guests lined up. I just what I'm saying is there's people that will listen to this.
Yes.
And they'll be like, damn, I didn't know that. But they know me.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be honest and open, and then if people wanna check me on that, just give me a bell. And we'll talk it through.
I think that's probably a great point to start from. So, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, give me who you were growing up. Give me your background. Give me your story. I want to know who you are, especially now I've learned your name. This is good, right? Good step. No, I want to know more about yourself.
Pressure's on. Right. So, start from the beginning. I'm probably 4.0 now.
Okay.
Yeah. Of where I am. I wouldn't say, listen, I'm privileged. I had a very, very good upbringing.
Yep.
But I battled against that upbringing. A lot of people know this about, it's a factual thing about me that I don't mind sharing, is that I'm adopted. Now, which in its own sentiment is a blessing, because my older brother, I never knew him.
Okay.
So he passed away, and then for all intents and purposes, I think my dad, so my adopted dad, and my mother that took me on, had 3 daughters.
Okay.
So it's kind of at the stage I'm at now with my missus. So it's kind of like girl, 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 and then they had a boy, and unfortunately he wasn't very well, and he passed away. So he passed away, I think maybe, I don't know if I get this, if I butcher this, if he was like maybe 1 or just over 1 year old. So what do? Do you attempt to have another child, or like what's the logical next step? I think is to adopt, which is what they did. So my saving grace is that they did, and I ended up where I was. So the mad thing about that, when I say I thought I had a great start in life, because of that. However, I was adopted into a white family.
Okay, which is interesting, right?
Yeah, man.
Must have been tough.
It was extremely tough, and I don't speak to people about it.
Okay.
Really. So a lot of people think, right, Johnny, Leon, Brownie, he's a dickhead. Yeah, I don't like him. He's this, he's that. Now, there's a lot of everybody's got their story, haven't they?
Of course.
Yeah. So I finally got into a stage where I say like 4.0 is, and the lessons that I've learned and the things that I've been through, I'm kind of like, I'm in my late 30s now, but I've only really just got to a stage where I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's been that whole process and that journey through everything that I've been through, that's gotten me to here. It's the same as everybody, but it's, I think I've met my adopted family maybe when I was 24.
Okay. And how was that?
I got to find them. It was mad. It was, I think, I remember a conversation I had with my adopted mum. I think I don't know, I was like 9 years old. It wasn't so much a conversation, but she said to me, we're in the park playing with my 3 older sisters, and then she pulled me to the side and she was like, "Oh, do you think they look different to you?"
Okay.
And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, you're adopted, right? And the implications of that and what it means." And I said, "Yeah, I know." But I'd never had that conversation with anybody. I just worked it out myself.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, I've accepted the fact that I wasn't part of this unit biologically. But the love that they showed me was enough that I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, of course. I can imagine.
So it was cool. So it wasn't a big thing. I was like, yeah, that's cool. So then I got to the stage of, so I had my eldest daughter, what was I, 21? And then that just got me thinking,
Gotta change.
like, where's my family?
Yeah.
Like, if this is my first biological person that I've ever known in my life, like, where are the rest of them? Yeah. So that kind of started that journey to try and find them. And then that took a couple of years, a few years. Private investigator, I think it was like £50.
An hour?
No. He said to me, you go on all these forums,
yeah,
and you speak to people about your experiences and what have you. And then this guy popped his head up because there's so many sharks out there in anything that you're trying to do.
Sharks in terms of?
As in, yeah, I'll help you, bro. Pay me £50 an hour.
Okay.
And I'll find your mum, your dad, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and they won't. They're just taking your money.
Pocket the money, of course.
Yeah. This guy, he looked like a teddy boy. This guy, man. I can't remember his name now. It's a shame I can't remember his name. But he said to me, £50, and if I don't find her,
Give you money back.
No, you don't pay it.
Okay.
So that's payments on completion of the whole project. So it must have been 6 months after I connected with him. He rang me and said, I've got some good news. I said, what's that? And he said, I found your mum.
Okay, this is positive.
Yeah. And I said, okay, where is she? Naturally. He said, I can't tell you the address and all this sort of stuff. We need to go to the council and we've got to sign a few forms and you need to see a counsellor and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's cool. And he said, she might not be what you expect her to be, because they're all the things that you need to go through.
Yeah, they have to say that beforehand, don't they?
Yeah. And I said, you know what? I just need to know who it is.
Of course.
You look in the mirror, you see yourself, and what do I look like? Where do I come from? And he was like, oh. So we went to council. So we're standing in the car park at the council. Everything's done, and he said, right, I won't give you the address because they're going to give that to you when they write to you. Or when she makes contact with you. But she's 10 minutes down the road.
Okay.
From where we were stood. And where we were standing was like half an hour from my house.
Shit. Heart's beating at the time, right?
Yeah, and I was just
my heart's beating.
Yeah. And I was just like, do you know how long she's lived there for? Oh, well, when we spoke to her, she said she hasn't moved. For one reason of maybe you might pop your head up in the future. So, in this area, I was shopping there. Getting my hair cut there. You know what I mean?
You walked past multiple times.
Yeah.
You probably walked right past her a few times.
Yeah, and then so the first time I went to meet her, she had my younger sister, who you've met.
Yes.
Natasha, and she basically it was those two, and I was like, okay, cool, it's done. Now, I don't know if this, if amazing things happen and crazy things happen. Like, put it this way, if I go to the cinema with my missus and we watch a badass film, and it's a sick film, yeah, and when I'm watching the film, I'm like, this is sick, and I'm thinking to myself, this is amazing. When we come outside, she'll say to me, oh, did you like that film? And I was alright. It was alright.
Yeah.
And that's how I roll.
Okay.
So when I met my mum, it was the same thing.
Okay.
So there was a lot of emotion in there, but didn't know how to express it.
Well, it must be tough, no?
Yeah.
It must be tough. Yeah, it must be tough.
You suppress it.
So how did that go, that meeting? So you've now, what was the setting? Did you turn up at a house, or did he organise a meet somewhere at the coffee shop, or how does that work?
I think it was a Premier Inn.
Okay.
In Heathrow. So one of my boys at the time gave me a lift with his girlfriend, dropped me off at the back. Okay. I walked in, looked around, whether it's a natural connection or what, I don't know, but it was kind of like, okay, there she is. I'd seen a picture,
okay,
but it was like a split second to work out where she was in the room. Then walked over, hugged it out, and then obviously she was like crying her eyes out, and very emotional.
Of course, it's my long lost son.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, it's cool.
It's fine, yeah, take it easy.
Don't worry. Yeah. So you get through all of the basic questions that you'd ask anybody, but it was kind of like, everything's cool. Listen, the only thing you need to know is that I've had a good life.
Okay.
And if you've ever been worried about how did I turn out and what have you, everything's blessed. All of the problems and issues that I've ever had of my own making. Okay. Life choices. But none of them experiences that I've had that have been negative were needed to be had.
Okay. And you've caused them.
Yeah, I've caused them. And that was just trying to fit in.
So then, you've met her. You spent how long did you guys spend talking?
About an hour.
Okay, spent an hour talking, and then what happened thereafter? So the weeks after, did you then meet up again, or what's happened then? What's happened since?
We met quite regularly after that. I think once a month, something like that. There was a few things going on with me personally, which got in between seeing her at some points. And again, another big thing is, for me, that people might not necessarily understand or think that that guy's a little bit off, is that I don't know if it's something from my adoption that's made me be the way I am when I handle relationships. So whether it be a friend, an old work colleague, some old football coaches, whoever it is, I generally tend to lose contact with them. But always am concerned within myself about, I wonder how they are. But I find it difficult to reach out to people and ask how they are, and keep that connection. But I don't know. I mean, books I've read and things that I've seen, like the bond between a son and the mother, and getting taken away from them at such an early age is. I've seen people say that it's as traumatic as like having a car accident. It's a major emotional experience which takes something away from you.
No, I can imagine.
So I don't know if I'm missing
something.
Yeah. That bit. So to try and maintain those meetings, like for me, was a little bit difficult, because all I wanted to see was what they looked like.
Of course.
Yeah, and who they were. So for her, I think it was a lot more difficult for her because of all the worry that she'd had and everything that she'd been through, having to make that decision to put me up for adoption. Yeah. And now she's confronted with it. So if I was then saying, I can't come Saturday because I've got a madness going on in my life, but she's thinking, oh, it's me.
Of course, yeah. It's gonna be like a stab to the heart.
Yeah. So
that you've now just reconnected, and then now the person, you know, and it's that's tough. I'm sitting here going.
So the relationship was a bit funny from there. But from it, I mean, I've got a best friend from it. So like my sister Natasha, like again, Arsenal supporter.
Proper team. Just saying, it's a proper team. I hope people do understand that we are proper fans of a proper team who have won stuff. Just no reference to Tottenham on that point, but we have won stuff.
Got trophies.
We have trophies. We have a cabinet which has got the league, FA Cups, and what else have we got in that trophy cabinet of ours?
Bro, there's stuff in the cabinet.
Oh yeah, sorry. We've got stuff in there. Just saying.
You know what I mean? There's all sorts of things in there. Do you know what? On a side note, I've got a friend, Charles, who's just started a YouTube channel. So I'll find out what that is, and I'll get you guys to look at it. But he's an Arsenal correspondent, so I think he works for an online internet. I think it's Goal.
Okay, yeah, I think I heard of Goal. They do scouting and stuff.
So no, it used to be a magazine. I don't know if it still is now.
Okay.
But they're online now. I don't know if they still do the paperback or whatever. But yeah, shout out to Charles. Big up the Arsenal. Yeah, man.
Proper team. But okay, cool. So we've gone through all of that. I remember when I met you first, you said you used to be an MC. And I want you to touch upon that, those days of MCing. What type of MC was you? Was it garage you're talking about? Or
Yes, garage. So my generation would have been... So I started raving when did I first go to a rave? Probably when I was like 15.
Okay.
To a club in Windsor, which would have been... It's had numerous names. But the first rave would have been something like Stush or Sun City, at Monarchy, Mirage. It's the same club, but it's been through various names. And I used to go there with my, what do you call him? I call him my brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So the lady that I ended up growing up with in my teenage years, I would say she's my mum, basically. Shout out Trish. So her eldest son Wayne, again someone that I'd latched onto, because where I grew up, we were like the only black guys in the area. So then I went to school, and then I got Reese and Wayne, who are my brothers. Yeah, they were like, bro, like come and sit with me, sort of thing. So then they only lived
in a prison setup there, does.
Yeah, no, well, nah.
It sounds a bit like one of those ones you just walked in the prison setting. And then you've gone, okay, you've got the blacks on the side, you've got the Mexicans on that side, you've got the white over there, the neo-Nazis. Which side you... Oh, my boy, yeah, he's waved. Oh, I'm coming over.
No. It's, they just happened to be.
Okay.
And it worked out for me. So then, yeah, Wayne used to take me raving. So I went to Mirage. It must have been Mirage at the time. And they had 3 rooms. They had the main room, huge, like any club, huge. Bars around the side. And then they had a little middle room. I can't remember what it was called. A ground floor room. So the middle room was playing like alternative music. So at the time, garage, tech,
big. Yeah, it was big.
Whatever it was. Main room's all like party fillers and what have you. But that's the only place to go in that area.
Okay.
So the main room would be rammed, packed. Everybody done up smart. I'd be in the middle room, hardly no one in there.
Yeah.
Pitch black, like one light in the corner, wearing tracksuits, and then there's a microphone. So then we watched all these people just spitting, MCing and whatever. Thought I can do that. So me and my mate Adam invested in some decks, and if he ever hears this, he might say that he bought them. So I can't remember if I actually gave him any money. So we got these decks, big like suitcase thing. So they weren't two like traditional 2 turntables. It was like a big suitcase. You open it up and it's got everything in there. Yeah. And we just started shooting the shit on there, just chatting rubbish, copying people's rhymes, and just listening to them back and chatting rubbish. And I thought, you know what, I can do this.
All right. So then what? So you've given us the story of how you started, but then where did you go with it? What happened? Was you in a group?
I was in a group.
What's the group's name?
Secret Society.
Wow.
Well, no, the first group I was in was Five Alive.
Five Alive?
Yeah.
Five Alive. What does that sound?
Because it's a drink, isn't it?
Yeah. Five Alive. Yeah, it is a drink. It's,
yeah.
Five Alive. But I had a brain freeze for a second. I was thinking, you said Five Alive, and I thought, Five, the 5 group. And I was like,
no, it wasn't.
I don't remember seeing you, but there was a mixed race guy in the group. But...
No. None of that. Yeah, so I was playing football.
Yeah.
So I was playing at a decent standard, Allied Counties, for a club called Beaconsfield.
Okay.
And our coach at the time, Colin Barnes, was, I don't know if he was the chief scout or he's a scout at Watford. So I was playing games at Watford and playing for Beaconsfield. And the idea was, I'm going to be a professional footballer. End of.
Okay.
That's it. Nothing else. However, went to college, and then everybody's in the common room MCing as well. And I was like, let me get involved in that. And I met a guy, Aaron, Apex, and he was like, oh, bro, do you want to join my crew? And I was like, this is so surreal. It's like you see something on TV like this. And I was like, get me, I'll join your crew. And he was like, right, we need to make one. So we like recruited all these people, like the A-team, DJ, producer, etc. And then we did Five Alive.
Okay, I'm with you.
And then my boy Clement, CJ, big DJ now, and he played for Brentford at the time. So I remember meeting him, getting off the platform at the train station. He was like, yeah, CJ, instant rapport. And then we were like, yeah, let's do this. So we had like 2 DJs, Mark Hilton, Olympic gold medalist.
Okay.
Mark Ladon Hilton. Well, let me say silver. You might be getting upgraded. I think we were talking about this quite recently. There was a drugs cheat in the
Russian?
400 metres, impossibly Russian.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll get a bump up. Check me on that, please, Mark. Let me know. So yeah, 2 DJs, 2 MCs, and what have you. I think we went to a radio station. I don't know if we were on Mac FM or anything like that in King's Cross, but the guy at the time was like, "Oh, there's already a group with your name."
Okay.
So we were like, "Oh, we're sitting in the car, like, oh, what are we gonna do? And then I think it was Apex. He was just like, Secret Society, and we were like, "Yeah." And then that was it. And then, like, pretty much. But then, the name means so much to me now because of all the stuff that I'm into in my older life. So yeah, so we did the group. I think the first ever booking we had was Capital Club in Leicester Square, with like Shorty Blitz and Skibbity and all those guys for the drum and bass people. I think it was either Master Steps or EZ. It was one of them. I can't remember. But for me, like being 16, 17, with they were already names to me anyway.
What, EZ?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to get the CD.
Yeah, the tape.
Well, tapes, yeah, the tapes. Well, the CD afterwards, but the tape, I remember I'm a generation
Okay, all right.
later than yourself. So I did grow up with Garage, but I'm more of the, So Solo Crew generation.
Yeah, all right.
I think the So Solo guys were a couple of years older than myself and a few of the guys that we went to school with.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying.
No. So I just remember, because Garage was so different back then to where we are now in music.
Of course.
I just remember, so you're trying to get your bars out, and then the DJ's looking at you, like, shut up. And I'm like, I'm getting paid to MC, and you're telling me that I'm not allowed to MC. So there was that.
Battle.
I was there for that battle of the inception of the MC, where we were the younger guys that actually wanted to, because we were looking up to like Blakey, DT, PSG.
Yeah, PSG.
Them guys, and they're kind of like host MCs.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've got like little hooks and tags, and they keep the party lively and vibey, and then they have their little melodies. Yeah. And we were kind of like, okay, we've got that, but we also listen to hip hop.
So you just want to flow?
So we just want to flow.
Yeah, you want to flow.
So where we go from the college scene in the common room to just letting wild, to then having to pull yourself back and then just learn them patterns about how you interact with the DJ. Okay. So it was all a learning curve as we went along, and then we just naturally just stayed doing it, and then made mixtapes, CDs, travel around the country. So different than it is now. Yeah. It's amazing now.
Well, now you can be a star overnight. You know, you can make your own little mixtape at home with your phone, and then from there picks up online, and before you know it, you're a big shot. You're a big deal.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's fascinating. I'd love to have the ability to write bars and to spit and do that. I wanted to be. My email address is Mike Star, because Mike used to be a Mike.
Yeah.
Star. But I was never any good on the mic.
So that was your MC name?
Yeah, Mike Star, man. Mike was a superstar. But I was never good at putting through or putting together bars. I was never good. We especially in my school, the school I went to, secondary school in Fulham, we had a number of the guys that used to MC, say at lunchtime, and I used to try. But never was successful, never was good at spitting any bars or even catching the beat. Could never catch the beat. I still can't catch the beat now, I'll tell you that. Can't even dance, but I couldn't catch the beat. And it was one of those things where I was always in awe of the guy who could write, you know, or the guy could spit a certain bar, or he can metaphor something. You're like, wow, how did you put that together? But I was never any good at that. Never. So it takes a lot. But so how's that going now? You guys still making tracks? Or what's...
We went to Telstar. I don't know if it's Paul Widger. I don't know if he was Craig Davies' manager at the time or not. But looking back on it, so we're in his mansion in Ascot, right? Okay. And you've got all the artists that live in the house, and then you've got like 4 black boys from Slough that are trying to get into the music industry. And I must have been 19 at the time now.
Okay.
So we'd made a name for ourselves, to the extreme where we got to meet this guy. Yeah. Yep. So that's what I was thinking to myself, that there's something here.
We're getting somewhere. We're moving.
Now for me, I recall the meeting was kind of like he walked us around his house. He was showing us his cars. Look at this. I can open this car with my finger, like put my fingertips under the handle and the car opens, as if to say, "Be with me. This is what you'll get." Now, go back into the living room, wherever we were. My phone rings. Hello? I'm like, okay, it's my girlfriend at the time. So I go out and speak to her. Okay. Straight away, yeah? You know, why am I answering my phone in a...
Oh, no, of course, yeah, for work, you know? I'm putting work
So I've gone. Come back in. Phone rings again. Her again.
Okay.
Go outside and speak to her. So that whole thing was going on, which was so unprofessional.
Of course, yeah. You're not serious.
Not serious at all. But then I just remember him saying, he said, look, you're all good-looking guys. You've all got a great look about you. I just don't know if they're ready for 4 black guys.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, right?
And what year was this?
Oh God, what would that have been? So it's like 2001.
2001. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000, 2001. Now there's a gang of people, so solid, and the likes, they're coming through.
Yeah.
Now I think the difference between that is that they're so inspirational, where they're self-funded. They did everything themselves, so they're game changers. They set a lot of things up for what everybody else is doing today. Gang of them.
Oh, there's loads. Yeah, there's loads.
Gang of them. Actor, producer, artist, singer, songwriter,
roadman.
Like money men.
Yeah, no, of course. There was, because the school I went to, a few of the guys, their older brothers were in So Solid Crew. That's why I said it. So Solid. And we grew up always kind of like, oh, your brother's coming down to the school, because people get into fights and whatever, and you'd be like, shit, someone's coming down. But that was always quite poignant at the time. But we always knew that, they played music. And I remember my cousin got me into listening to, I think it's the Light 103.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And we used to listen
Sundays,
to,
man.
classic, man. Harvey, Asher D, and Romeo. Some of the bars those guys used to spit, they were the anthems that we used to have on the way to school and at school. So it's quite funny when you didn't hear someone saying, oh, my brother's going to come down after school. And you're like, well, your brother's one of the social group. Maybe he's going to bring the rest of the guys. And we used to stand outside cheering and stuff. So, but I do get you in terms of saying that they were kind of trailblazers for the scene. They took it from the radio stations to then out there in the masses.
They didn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
And they were a machine.
Get it?
Yeah? So they kept rolling. We came up against the hurdle.
Okay.
And there was only 4 of us. And we weren't roadmen. We didn't have a bag of money that we could self-fund ourselves to get in the studio and do this and that. So we were trying to do it collectively in the surrounding counties, so not in London. So we've already got that stigma of being, them guys are from country.
Yeah, not serious guys.
Yeah, so it was difficult to try and to break that barrier, but we did all right. Nothing ever came of that. Never released anything, and then I had, like I said, I had a whole lot of issues that I was going through at the time. Apex again had some things going on, and CJ was at Brentford.
Okay, yeah.
So, and the goal for him was to be a professional footballer. So if he had to go training,
so he got to be.
He had to go training. So it kind of, we drifted. But now, I would say in the last, great thing about social media, WhatsApp especially,
connect.
Even from BlackBerry days, everybody connects with everybody. So where I've said that I might not necessarily reach out to people, I try to now. I got reached out to. So I remember them pulling up outside my house. I was living in my house. I was living in the YMCA at the time, and they said, "Oh, let's get the gang back together."
Okay.
And even then, I was like, "Nah, not on it." And those two went off and stayed in that lane.
Okay.
And carried on doing the music. So Apex produces for people now, and CJ is CJ IDJ. He opens up for 50 Cent, The Game, when they've been over here on tour. West End, like, he's one of the guys, yeah. And then just recently, he's asked me to be a host at a live music event.
Okay.
So to introduce the acts and people like that. So he's making music. So watch this space.
Give him a shout.
Yeah, CJI DJ. He'll be releasing some stuff. If you look on his tags on social media, and like I said, so we were called Secret Society. We still are called Secret Society. That's who we are. But they're called Society.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the tag, and that's what everything's running under. So shout out to those boys. But yeah, I mean, brother, I want to hear you spit some bars, man. You intrigued me here,
mate.
Huh?
I can't spit some bars at this present time. You put me on the spot. Let me rehearse, or you get my phone. I don't have my phone today, but to hear the excuses coming out
gets
there.
Me excited.
But no, I used to, because for me, especially growing up in the kind of garage era, everyone used to spit bars. You know, everyone did. That was just kind of what you did if you were that age. But I wasn't any good, man. Just wasn't any good. So yeah, watch the space. Maybe on one of the next episodes, I might bring my phone along with my pre-scripted bars so we can flow together with the beat at the background. We'll get there.
There we go, man.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, let's talk